guys, what's up? It's Max Holland here, and I'm back with another video. Now, I'm doing something a little different in this video from the usual stuff, like movie reviews and song covers. This is a video game review, and it's on the game The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. This is my favorite video game of all time. It's very special to me. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time is a fantasy action-adventure game from Nintendo that's part of the Legend of Zelda series. It is set in the fictional kingdom of Hyrule, ruled by an unnamed king and his daughter, Princess Zelda. You play as Link, a young warrior who is raised along with a race of childlike elf people called the Kokiri, who are watched over by the Great Deku Tree. Is it Deku? Is that how that's pronounced right? For the longest time, I thought it was pronounced Deku, but I found out recently it's pronounced more between the lines of Deku. So anyway, you are summoned by the Great Deku Tree to go on a quest to save Hyrule from a great evil. So you go to Hyrule Castle, and that's where you meet Princess Zelda, and listen in on her plan to defeat the main villain, Ganondorf, and stop him from taking over the kingdom by stealing a powerful divine relic called the Triforce. It's like made up of these 3 golden triangles. So, Ganondorf is not really someone you'd want to mess with. He'll stop at nothing to get what he wants, even if it means committing murder. So, in other words, he means business. This Ganondorf character is like king of a race of thieves called the Gerudo that reside in the desert. You explore several different areas throughout the overworld. These areas consist of a forest, a mountain, a lake, a cemetery, and a desert. And within these areas are dungeons, which you navigate through fighting enemies and collecting a boss, and collecting key items at the end, after defeating a boss, that is. So these key items range from like spiritual stones to medallions. And there's also kind of the thing where you have to summon all the sages. Yeah. Also, your quest involves time travel. You fight a variety of different enemies that range from like spiders, man-eating plants, skeleton soldiers, fire-breathing dinosaurs, and more. And you get like a variety of weapons, like a sword and a shield, as well as a slingshot, bombs, and a bow and arrow. And you collect hearts to replenish your health. So along your quest, you meet a set of different quirky characters. So there's Saria, and from Kokiri Forest. You kind of have like a bond with her. So like Link and Saria are really close. There's also Mido, leader of the Kokiri, who's kind of like a bully to Link, but deep down he's actually really jealous of him. And he's also kind of bent on winning Saria's heart. Yeah, there's also Talon, the farmer who resides at Lon Lon Ranch, along with his daughter Malin. That's where you meet Epona the horse. And there's Darunia, the leader of a race of rock-like people called the Gorons. And they kind of like to dance to like the music from the forest. Yeah. And there's Ruto, princess of the Zora, who reside in Lake Hylia. And finally, there's Navi, the fairy, who accompanies you. The Deku Tree kind of appoints her to look after you, and she gives you hints on what to do next on your quest, and she also gives you insight on the enemies you face. She'll often call for you by going, "Hey, listen!" This has become a meme. Oh, and you also have like a magical flute-like instrument called an ocarina, hence the game's title, Ocarina of Time. And you kind of use it to play songs that kind of resolve certain situations. Be it like, you know, helping out some allies so that they'll help you, or solve certain puzzles and dungeons. You know. I think Ocarina of Time is an excellent game. It's very well made, very enjoyable, fun, and adventurous, and it's also very imaginative. It's like, with this game, Nintendo gave us like a whole big world to explore. Now, I don't think there's been a game like Ocarina of Time before, except for maybe Super Mario 64, which was also from Nintendo. Like, with that game, you have like several different like open worlds to explore, but here we have a single big overworld. Now, granted, the previous 2D Zelda games had like open overworlds from like an overhead view, but we're talking like first-person 3D games here. I can go on and on, but I think you can get the idea. The music is absolutely phenomenal. I will name a few tunes. So we got the overworld theme heard in Hyrule Field. It goes do 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 do, and then we got the catchy theme in the Lost Woods. Do 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 do. Just to name a couple. Oh, and in the final dungeon, at like the tower portion, when you're going up the tower to face Ganondorf, you have this like really intense epic organ music that goes da 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 da, and it gets more intense the further you go. And yeah. I never actually had a Nintendo 64 as a kid. I had a PlayStation and later a PlayStation 2. I mean, I have a Nintendo 64 now. I got it on eBay a couple of years ago, but not back then. Initially, my favorite game as a kid was Spyro the Dragon on the PlayStation. I spent a lot of time on that game. But there was a game that I've heard the other kids in 2nd grade talk about called Zelda, which was a game I heard about but never actually played. And I think later that summer, after I finished 2nd grade, I played Majora's Mask at a friend's house. And it was like a pretty creepy and strange game, but I really enjoyed the open world aspect of it. I was, and still am today, kind of annoyed and frustrated by the time limit, but I'll get to that in another video. So, in 2003, I was 10 years old, and I got a GameCube for Christmas that year. And what came with it was a Zelda compilation disc that had 4 different classic Zelda games, that had the first 2 Zelda games on NES, The Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, and the 2 N64 Zelda games, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time was the one that I spent the most time on, and I fell in love with it. And I would say since then, The Legend of Zelda has kind of become a new obsession for me. Now, about a year prior to that, I got A Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance, and I played that game quite often. But I think my fandom really started with Ocarina of Time. So it's like when playing this game, it's like a form of escapism. Like, I'm actually imagining myself in the land of Hyrule, you know? And also, I can actually kind of identify with the Link character, because he's a silent protagonist, and he's left-handed. Fun fact, I'm also left-handed. I play guitar right-handed, though. And I'm also considered a man of few words. So, I'd say the Ocarina of Time is the game that has really left an impact on me as a gamer, more than any game I've played, and that's why it's my favorite video game of all time. I highly recommend checking this game out, especially if you're into fantasy adventure games, as well as like a bit of RPGs. I mean, it's not an RPG, but it kind of has RPG elements in there. I think it also has like platforming elements, but it's not a platformer. So Ocarina of Time is currently on available on the Nintendo Switch Online plan with the expansion. The expansion has the Nintendo 64 app that has other N64 games on it, along with Ocarina of Time. So, if you have the Nintendo Switch Online membership plus expansion and you haven't played Ocarina of Time, highly recommend checking it out. Also, one more thing about the game, the graphics are great. I mean, this was late 90s, and I guess by today's standards, the graphics can be considered like blocky and dated. But I think for the Nintendo 64 standards, I think it was the graphics were really impressive. And it's a great, like, looking game and visually stunning. So, yeah. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I give Ocarina of Time a solid 10 out of 10. So have you ever played Ocarina of Time? What did you think? And how does it compare to any other games of the series? Let me know in the comments. Also, what is your favorite video game of all time? You can let me know that in the comments too. And if you enjoy this video, please leave a like. And if you're new to my channel and want to see more content, hit that subscribe button and get maxed out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Max Holland signing out. Goodbye!